Recording in progress.
What it do? It is your boy, Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who am I with? As always, Joseph Huggins, aka Old Man Huggie. Talk shit or get off the pod. Episode 90. Assembled the clown car, motherfucker.
How are you, sir? How are you today? You doing good?
I'm doing good. I'm
yeah,
doing
dude.
good. How are you?
Good, man. Shit's fucking wild right now. So, like, it's almost even better that we waited because there's shit that's come out about all this goofy Trump shit and all this, like, this randomness in, like, the past 2 hours. Like, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, man. It's getting laughable. And so it's just, I'm good, man. I'm just, lots of goofy shit. We're here. It's another one. We're at 90, bro. That's fucking wild.
It is wild. Did you see that the Saudi-backed Live Golf League is joining up with the PGA?
And we talked about that on Angry Black Quarterback, which is coming back soon, everybody. So another round of applause because that's coming back. But yeah, I saw that. It's not surprising.
Okay, but like let's say you are Rory McIlroy, who got offered like $300 million,
or Tiger, who got offered like $1 billion, bro.
Yeah, $1 billion, and they said no, and then a year later, it's just like you could have said yes, and you would have had all that money and still been in the PGA.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what some of those guys were banking on, though. They were like, y'all are clowns for not taking this money, like for the sake of integrity, because golf has no integrity. Like women, I think Condoleezza Rice was the first woman allowed on in the Masters clubhouse,
right at Augusta.
Yeah, that's
and I
absurd.
think Tiger was the first black guy.
That's laughable. Like, so it's not like
that's Augusta, and that's actually the Masters is not a PGA Tour event. So like all the guys from Live can play in the Masters.
Yeah, that's true. Well, now they can play whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, but then also the commissioner of the PGA, like a year ago, almost to the day, it's like he's on camera, like talking about how he has two sets of friends like that had people who died in 9/11.
Yeah,
and he's like, I just want to ask all those guys, who left the tour, did you ever have to apologize for being on the PGA? Like, as in, like, they're going to have to apologize for playing for the Saudis.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say this. So, all of the 9/11 families are super upset with the Saudis. And we're all like, yeah, we know. But do we know? Like, it's like,
I was talking about this the other day. I mean, I feel like
Saudis were involved.
I feel like
we don't know how. Yeah, we know, but we obviously know more than, like, the public knows. Like, our government knows
way more.
Like Mohammed bin Salman, when he was probably 12 years old, was plotting with like bin Laden.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think you're past the realm of allegedly with those guys. Aren't they both? Didn't we take them both out?
Oh no, Mohammed bin Salman is the
not
prince.
No, not Mohammed bin Salman. Sorry, I was thinking, what's his name? Zaharwi or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah.
The other guy
we
hit with a drone with a drone in the chest or something.
No, we hit him with a drone dropped a missile on him, but there was no explosives in the missile. It was like a helicopter like propeller inside of the missile. So it went directly on top of him and chopped him up, and he was like at a family house and nobody else got hurt.
Well, no, what it was is they knew his routine, and in the morning he'd go out on his balcony. And they watched him for months, and they knew where he was, and he developed this routine, and they got him one morning and dropped that shit on him. But so have you ever heard of the movie Screamers? It's absolutely ridiculous, but they're like these robotic people that shoot saw blades. Have you seen that movie? It's like it's
I've
supposed
heard
to
of it,
be a
but I
scary
haven't seen
movie.
it.
That's some screamer shit, dude. All those like it's not like a sand planet, and they're not like like help me. Wow, but that movie's pretty fucking wild, and that sounds like some screamer shit. Not to like drop some bad '80s or '90s movie comparison like I always do.
Yeah, so there was that, and then there was also the Russians blew up a fucking dam in Ukraine, and
So,
it's
yeah.
flooding. Yeah.
Did you see? So Tucker Carlson launched his Twitter show. He did his first
Mm.
episode, and he talked about that. How about how he thinks it's Zelensky and that the Ukrainians blew it up
Of
in
course he thought
an
that
act of terrorism.
because
And
the
that,
Russians told him that, or what?
yeah, maybe I don't
Well,
know.
the Russians are claiming that.
Oh, of course they are, but I
Yeah,
mean, but that's also
but
like
the
totally the
Russians
type of.
are like, yeah, Russians are like Trump. Whatever they're accusing somebody of doing, that's what they're doing.
That's what they're probably doing. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes
So Trump's
sense.
like, oh, they stole the election, but meanwhile, he's like trying to steal the election.
All I need is 11,000.
780 votes. Not a single one more.
That's it. That's all we need, and then we're bigly there.
We're bigly there.
Yeah.
And we'll never have to another election
It'll be the
again.
biggest vote fine anyone's ever talked about. They'll talk about it for the history books, you guys. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows. No, I mean that's wild though. Shooting saw blades from the sky to chop somebody up. I mean that's
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah. Well, what happened was he went back to Kabul in Afghanistan after we pulled out. And so that's where we got him.
They're like, we got him.
We're like, yeah, like he just thought he could cruise over because the Taliban was now like in charge, and then we're like, nope,
Oh yeah, like
night night,
we're
night
still
night.
we're still
Keep your butthole tight.
still watching you like from the sky at all times.
I,
That's
I'll
like
find
that's
you.
literally the government just like plays Where's Waldo with people.
You
Imagine
know,
that
like
being your job, just like canvassing areas on satellite and then looking for sketchy shit, like in countries that you're not even supposed to be looking in and seeing what they're doing. So the whole entire time you're like, oh yeah, I'm just like perusing through, like just looking for weird shit. Like, hey guys, what the fuck's that? Like, oh my god, like we have shit that just like hovers in the sky.
right, like the Chinese spy balloon.
No, well, I mean they obviously have something, but I mean I don't know. Maybe we've seen with Russia how like what we talked about it last episode, like how like inept, not inept, but like ill-equipped and ill-prepared their military is for the war that they're in with Ukraine. So what if China's just as bad? What if everybody's just as
Oh yeah,
bad?
because yeah, China hasn't been in a war in like 50 years, you know.
Yeah.
So like the Russians, like they fought a bunch of wars in the 90s and like
When they were in a
early
fight with
2000s.
themselves, right? It was like
The Russians?
Like the Chinese Revolution.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
but
like the
yeah,
last war. It's like no, none of us are even there for it to comment on
yeah,
the.
no, but they were like heavily involved in Vietnam and
No, that's true. That's true. But like, I've always been influential on that side, like trying to meddle in people's shit like we do with everybody else. Hey,
yeah, I'm not worried about China.
you're not.
Are you Xi Jinping?
Are you not?
Nah.
You're not
You know,
worried about the
China's
Biden
been
Chinese crime family?
no, they've been acting up though. Like they like flew in front of one of our spy planes recently, like last week, and like so that our spy plane went into the jet wash. You know, that's how we lost Goose in Top Gun, because they got in the jet wash, and
That's
then
true.
just I think
All
it was
right. R.I.P. Goose,
yesterday.
dude.
Yeah, they like we're going through the Taiwan Strait, and they just like one of their boats just like cut us off, like in like a really like unsafe distance, and we're just like
Well, they're dicks. I mean, that's not surprising. Like,
I know.
back up, China.
Nah, dude.
You might
What are you
live over
doing?
there, and you might, live on that land, do your thing. But we're in those waters, and now there are waters. So back up,
Yeah, it's international water.
because that's healthy, and that's not bullying at all. You know.
Well, no, we purposefully send our like warships through the Taiwan Strait just to make let China know that
Oh yeah, we just
that this is a free and fair
free and
ocean.
free and fair. Say it's not, and we'll kill you. That's insane. Like, Like, I mean, I appreciate it, like, but that's also like some wild shit. So I'm like, it's whenever you talk about anything that has to do with like our global influence. Not that we're totally off topic, but when like even in history, like even our fuck ups, it's like people are like, there's this America's Beyond Reproach type shit that goes on. That's just really funny to me because like we do goofy stuff all the time. Like the fact that we're just, I mean, now granted, we're protecting the people of Taiwan and all that, but it's still some sort of like gymnastics to justify us having some massive military position in somebody else's country, or like, hey, well, oh, you got nukes, we'll help you watch those. Like it's all, like let us put them in for you, and like you know we have like kill switches for half of the shit that we put in other people's countries. I
Well,
bet.
no, I mean, no, like the only places that there's like nukes, like we're,
Well,
it's
not
our
just nukes,
base.
but
It's
like,
our
yeah,
base.
but I mean,
It's not like it's not like another country's got
no,
a control of it.
no, I know, but it's like the. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like the concept of like, okay, so Australia wants to put a base in the U.S. It'd be like a big base. We want to drop some have some missiles there, have some SAM sites to shoot down. If a rocket comes, we can shoot it down. But we gotta have our people there and like fuck off. This is our zone. Like I don't think we would be like, who the fuck are you? Like we look at.
Well, yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But like we have a base in Japan because we went to war with them. We rebuilt their country. And we also have like a defense, assured agreement with them.
No, I know. But it's
And then it's all NATO country. It's Germany, it's Poland. Like that's where we have in Turkey. It's countries we have like defense agreements
yeah,
with,
yeah.
and they want us there. They want us there.
Well, I think some of the people do, some of the people don't. Like
No,
the
like
more
even
the
in
Middle East you get, the more it's like, like Turkey's like you could find a group of people from Turkey that don't like the fact that we're
Oh,
over there.
well, guess what? I just listened to a podcast today about Turkey because that's what I do. And literally like just 2 hours ago. And apparently that the United States has a 9%, that's right, 9% approval rating in Turkey.
There you go, point proven.
Turkey, I know you be listening.
And we
That's right.
just be like roaming. We're just like roaming around in like jeeps, listening to Kid Rock and shit like that. Like just like
Well, I know in like Okinawa, like in Japan, like where our base is, that there's a lot of like the Marines get into a lot of like trouble with the locals, and the people who live like around there don't necessarily like the United States
I'm just
Marines.
saying it's just a little
They
bit.
just like get drunk and act stupid.
It's the whole point of Team America, World Police is like in a lot of ways we're just kind of like we're kind of hypocrites, and it's okay, and it's okay for us to like admit that from
We're
time to
allowed to
time.
be hypocrites
Yeah, because if you
because
don't, yeah, because
we'll
if you don't like it, we'll kill you.
deal with it, or yeah, or we'll just take your money, like how we frozen all the Russian assets, like, and
Well, that's yeah,
we're
no,
gonna
but
take.
that's
We went after their central bank, so we just froze $600 billion in reserves. They had like reserves in dollars, and we're
yeah,
just gonna take that money and rebuild Ukraine with it.
that's a dick move, man.
I know there's like a couple of people that are like, I don't know if we should do that, and it's like because they don't want that to happen to them, and it's like, well, how about this? Don't invade a sovereign nation, and we won't have to fucking steal your
Yeah,
money.
it's like I'm gonna shit on somebody's. I'm gonna shit on your bed, and everybody's like, "Hey, man, that's not cool. Like, don't shit on my bed. Like, it's like I'll shit on
Uh,
anybody's bed. I don't give a fuck who you are."
yeah, I mean,
It's like
Russia
once,
deserves their bed to be shat on, like their Amber Heard
yeah.
and Johnny Depp.
What's Johnny Depp's bed?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, is it allegedly? Yeah, it was civil
No, it's
courts.
not allegedly. It was found in court. It was a testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Uh,
I shit the sheets.
eh, you know, three sheets to the wind.
Bruh, who sleeps with three sheets?
I don't even use a sheet. Like I have a sheet like on my bed,
Oh,
but
you have
like
like the bottom sheet, but you don't have the
yeah,
top sheet. That's fair. See, I'm
yeah.
not a
It just
top
gets
sheet.
in the way.
Right, I just kick it and mash it to the bottom of the bed, and then it's like
Right.
there, and then it's like all lumpy, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's that fucking sheet. I'm
Yeah.
just
You
trying to,
just
yeah,
elevate like me, and then you just don't even have to deal with it. You
true.
just stop
Uh,
pretending that you need the sheet. It's like having like pillows that you don't use, like just like for
bruh,
decorations.
wife number what 4 with my dad, bitch was crazy. Bitch was crazy.
Oh, I didn't know your dad had
Dude, my dad's been
pillows.
married like a million times. My dad's
Jesus
fantastic,
Christ.
but when he lived in this big ass house, and the pool in the background. Like I can pull it up on Google Maps, and it looks like a giant penis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
You
I'm
told me
like,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
when my dad built it, I was like,
And
Dad,
your
you're,
dad always was told you no, and then
yeah,
finally Google
I
Maps
pull
came up.
I pulled it out, and I was like, look, dude, your old like huge pool is a massive dick. He's like, well, how I'll be like it's like it's a dick with 3 balls, like that's fuck or a butthole, because it was like the pool, the hot tub. So if you're sitting in the hot tub, you're in like the, the booty hole, the booty area.
Yeah, you know, no, yeah, not to be redundant.
Yeah.
You're up in that hot tubs. We're gonna be in the booty area. Wife number 4.
Oh, dude, no, but she had okay, yeah. So she was nuts. She would just like drink Bud Dry and garden all day and spend all my dad's money on like bushes and shit. It was weird. And she was like a Karen before there was a Karen. She even had like the haircut. In like hindsight, it was like kind of like Magneto's helmet, but like hair, so it like didn't really move. And she had like 80 pillows on every single bed. Bitch had like 80 pillows. And when I got left my mom's house, was living with my dad for a bit, and then ended up subsequently leaving there and going back to my mom's, which was 8th grade. Shout out. I had like a billion pillows on my bed, and I had to put them back correctly every morning. Or this woman was just bitching at me all day, all day. It was like, dude, you got me in a purple room with like lace on the wall. Like I'm just trying to sit here and like play Smash Bros on N64. Like fuck off. And I need all these goddamn pillows. Sorry, you just gave me like PTSD, pillow
Well,
PTSD.
like Mark Cuban, he used to make his bed every day, and then he did the math on how long it took him to make his bed, and then he like put that like over the course of a year, and he realized how much time he was wasting, so he's never made his bed again since.
What did he say that?
Yeah,
Is that an actual quote, or is that one of those
yeah.
things that
No, I heard him say that.
someone just says and you're like, ooh, one of those legend things?
No, no, he said that. But yeah, which I totally, yeah, when you're, except for now he's at the level where if he doesn't have like a maid making his
Yeah,
bed,
he's
yeah,
people
what's he
making his
doing?
bed. But and that's, I mean, I think that
But there's that famous like military guy who does like the commencement speech, and he's like, if I'm gonna give you the secret to life, it's like get up every day and make your bed, because then that
starting the
like
day you
yeah,
completed something and check
yeah,
one, blah blah
yeah.
blah. Yeah,
And Mark Cuban was like, I'm a billionaire, and I figured that shit out was a waste of time.
yeah, but I think these billionaires like make this shit up down
I
the
don't.
road. Like they come up with something like I used to, all drink one soda every day because I knew that that amount of sugar was enough to activate my brain. And I ever since then I've always had a Dr Pepper for breakfast, like some stupid shit. Like I don't make my
Uh,
bed because I did the math. Like dude, like no, you
you
spent
know,
more time sitting there calculating this shit out, doing your goofy shit to prove to yourself you didn't need to make your bed. Like I think Mark Cuban made that shit up.
Power Agent, Ari Emanuel.
Mm-hmm.
Sign your boys. But the guy that Jeremy Piven played on Entourage,
Yeah.
like the guy in real life, I just heard him in an interview say that he every morning takes live microbes, like eats them.
Well, that's something that would be believable because that's some stupid shit that a billionaire would do, not make up. Like I eat live
I don't know
micro.
if he's a billionaire, but
Well, it's
he's close.
somebody
Oh no,
who's
he's close. Like he bought, they bought the UFC. Like
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
so he's loaded. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure for him, yeah, he eats like microbes and all sorts of shit. But I'm saying he has some like made up bullshit story about like back in the day when I was like even I have one. Like everybody's got some sort of. I'm like, this is the moment where I had to pull my shit together, right? For the most part.
Well,
And for Mike
yeah.
Cuban, it was when he was making his bed. He's like, then I stopped making my bed and became a billionaire. You're like, no,
Bitch.
you were a boomer and you were involved in tech.
Is he? He's not a boomer, is he?
Yeah, he's definitely a boomer.
Okay.
I mean, he made all of his money early.com. If you made a shit ton of money in the beginning of the internet, to me, you're a fucking boomer. You're not.
Yeah. Well, his was broadcast.com.
Yeah, so he made a fuck ton of money when the internet was brand
I,
new.
I think, well, no, it wasn't like that. I think he was the first like he figured out streaming like on the internet.
Yeah, but okay, so he figured something out and he made a fuck ton of money off of it when it was like
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah,
When he was fresh. There's
yeah.
what's the new internet that we're gonna make a shit ton of money off of
Christ coin.
and be like buy a house? Yeah, that's true. Christ coin, everybody. Jesus saves.
Available at your local
Yeah,
exchanges
every
in 2024.
every penny counts. Now there will be an automatic monthly deduction that goes to the church every month. You have
Oh
to
yeah,
pay your
that goes
tithe. You
without
have to
saying.
pay your
That goes
tithe.
without saying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, but that's included. That's what's great about Christ Coin is it helps you save, it helps you invest in your
It
afterlife.
it saves you money, and it saves your life. Christ coin.
Yeah,
Christ coin saves.
yeah. The financial testament. Don't miss that one, guys. Don't miss that one. Christ Coin.
All right, y'all. As we do, we start with therapy questions. Now, these are presented by ChatGPT, but ChatGPT has been getting a little bit. Speaking of redundant, I'll say like list 50, questions, and like a lot of them will be the same that I got, before.
Yeah.
So I tried something different today. I said, list 30 icebreaker questions that I could ask someone in the style of Cousin Greg from the television show Succession.
That's pretty good. I love Greg.
And just putting like in the style of just completely changed all of the like these are questions that weren't even close to like questions that it would come up with last time. So
That's
I
pretty
picked
good though.
yeah, I picked five out of the list because the first one I think will be quick, but it was the first response on the list. So therapy question number one, y'all. If you could only wear one sock for the rest of your life, would you choose the left or the right one?
Probably the right because I'm right foot dominant, man.
See, I would pick left because I'm right foot dominant.
No, I need that extra cushion. That's my push off foot, right?
I don't know. Like, do you wear your watch on your left or your right?
Left.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Wallet on your left or your right?
my right.
See, that's where I get all you busters. It's typical for you guys to wear your watch on your left, but I wear my wallet on my left too, and I don't even have a wallet.
So you just think about having a wallet back there?
Like a money clip.
Oh, okay, you're a money clip guy. That makes sense. I could see you being a money clip guy.
Yeah, dude.
Ridge Wallet. Hey, shout out to your boy Ridge Wallet.
We already
Protect your cards. I know. We're trying. We're shooting for the stars here. Protect your cards. Protect your life, and protect your Christ coin. There's gonna be a collab, dude. We could collab.
Start sponsoring your boys.
Christ
Yeah.
Coin and Ridge Wallet collaboration, the Savior
Yeah,
edition,
and the new
the Apostle edition. It's just like you can
yeah.
collect all 12.
The Christ Coin Exchange will be on the new Apple VR headset.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
We're meeting with Tim Cook.
Yeah.
He doesn't know yet, but
It's like, hey, I have this great cryptos currency because there's nothing scamming about religion, you guys.
no,
Never.
no, no. All right, so you say right, I say left.
Yeah, definitely right. Left would be weird.
Okay, well,
I'm just perplexed. So if you're right hand dominant, so you grab your wallet with your left if you do have a wallet when you have a wallet?
yeah,
That's weird. So you grab it with your watch hand?
yeah. Because I'm usually slapping someone with my right hand as I'm grabbing my wallet. Them hoes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Got to keep my pin pants strong.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right, therapy question number two. Would you rather have constant hiccups or a permanent sneeze?
See, this is goofy to me because permanent sneeze, like, are you just like, achoo, or like, do you just constantly have to sneeze?
Just constantly sneezing.
Um,
ChatGPT doesn't know what the
Maybe-
sensation of sneezing is like. It's got to be sneeze, bro.
no,
How are you
because
even thinking?
hiccups wouldn't be that bad. Hiccups, like,
Hiccups is the worst. One of my earliest memories is being my aunt and uncle's house, and there was this guy on the news who's had the hiccups for like 10 years.
yeah, I remember that
And-
shit that fucked me up.
And I
dude.
remember being like, oh my god, that would be so fucking.
Every time I
horrible.
got the hiccups, I was like, dude, this is it. Like, I'm not going to lose these. If I had them for more than like 10 minutes, I was like, I'm fucked. Yeah, it was on 60 Minutes. It was like tonight on 60 Minutes. The girl who can't stop hiccuping, and it would cut to her, and she's like, I was like, oh.
Fucking nightmare. Now, and also, don't they say sneezing is like 10% of an orgasm? So that's already better than a hiccup.
That's weird. I don't know. See, sneezing's gross. The hiccups, you're like, it's like pathetic. So would you rather be gross or pathetic? That's like the two. Because then somebody might be like, "Oh, he has the hiccups. That's so cute. I
Well,
can
yeah,
fix him." But
yeah,
somebody
my sneezes are
sneezing
kind of,
all the time, they're like, "Gross. Get this fucking dude off me."
yeah, it would have been a problem during the pandemic when it was like in the height of it. But
Driving would be dangerous because you'd sneeze at any moment. Like, come on, man. Like, you're fucked. Taking Ubers all the time, but then you can't take Ubers because you're sneezing in the Ubers and you have a low rating.
in the
Like,
elevator.
fuck that guy, man. He sneezed in my car 15 times on the way up here.
Okay, so real quick, while bring that up, I was just watching CNN last night, and she had two. The host had two guests on, and they were able to pull up their Uber stats, and it had a breakdown of how many times they got a 5 star, a 4 star, a 3 star, a 2 star, and a 1 star. I didn't know that you could do that,
How do you do
but
that? I want to see
I don't
one.
know. But yeah, these dudes. So it was a white guy and a black guy, and they both had multiple 1 star like rides, and but the black guy had like twice as many 1 star rides, and she was like trying to give him shit. I'm like, come on, you know why he got that? Like, you know,
Yeah, it's like, oh, giving the black guy 1 stars.
yeah, like that's he's obviously gonna get discriminated against.
If I ever have an Uber and they have 5 stars, I just call them 5 star, whatever their name is. So they pull up and they're like, hey, and I'm like, hey, 5 star Joe, what up? And they're like, hey,
I
man, how's it going?
heard someone say that a girl wouldn't go on a date with somebody who had a 4.7 Uber rating because they might be a serial killer.
Okay. I
For
think
the
that
pod for the
4.7 is
podcast,
not bad. Because, I mean, people you're going to get, like, shit faced people that are like, you're a dick, and they're going to give you a bad rating. Like, that's going to happen.
right? For the podcast, at least last time I checked, which was a while ago on Apple, we have only 5 star ratings
We have
or
one.
1 star.
Yeah, we have a 1 star.
Yeah, we have nothing in between. No twos, no threes, no fours. But for Spotify, it's a straight five. So holler.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Therapy question number 3. Would you rather have the ability to fly, but only backwards, or be invisible, but only when nobody is looking?
So if would a camera be able to show me?
I don't. Well, if somebody looks at the camera footage, I think that I don't know.
Because that's via a third party device. So I mean,
Right.
if not, then it's definitely be invisible. Because then I could like rob shit, I could rob banks, I could steal jewels and all sorts of shit, and I just have to wait till they were closed, and I wouldn't be on any of the camera footage. You could
But
do it.
if somebody shows up, you're no longer invisible. So you have to make sure nobody's there. But you
Well,
could fly backwards. You could fly backwards.
well, then it's almost like pointless. That's in pointless
I know.
invisibility. So then, yeah, it'd
I
be
know.
flying backwards. There'd be like some Dudley Do Right shit, but like whatever. Like I'd rock that. I'd be like, because at least like they'd be like, oh, look, that guy's an idiot. He flies backwards. And I'd be like, bitch, you can't fly. Like,
Yeah, and you could get like some mirror situation going to
yeah,
where like
oh, you
and
would,
master it. Yeah.
yeah, because it would be from birth, I'm assuming. So you would have mastered it by your teen years, and you'd have some pretty good skills. You'd be able to use it.
It sounds like one of my dreams. It's like, oh bro, I can fly in my dream, but only backwards. Like it's always something in my dream, like,
You'd play like
where
second base or shortstop, and nothing would ever get past you because they'd hit the ball high, and you'd just jump backwards and fly and catch the ball and land, and be like, ah, and they'd be like, man, he's incredible. This guy's got like a 250-foot vertical. This is insane. Like there'd be a way you could exploit it,
yeah, but invisible only when nobody is looking. I mean,
unless like you don't get picked up by surveillance for, then you take up a life of crime. Nobody
yeah,
would ever know it was you.
yeah.
Because they'd just see a video of money being removed from a safe and put into a bag, and they'd have no idea because there'd be nothing doing it. This ghost is terrorizing the city, like, right? It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say fly backwards just to be safe.
What's a more neutral path in
Yeah.
life if you choose to be invisible when no one's looking. You're not going to be doing shit that you should probably be doing. It's like I'm gonna go help the community and like plant some trees while everyone's asleep. Like no, you're gonna you're gonna be. I'm gonna go rob the academy down the street, and then I'm gonna hit up Carl's Jr., steal some frozen patties, and make dinner at my house tomorrow. And
Hey,
everybody will be looking so they can see me.
hey.
Now, an alibi is what would be difficult, but no one would see you come, see you go, see you leave unless they watched you walk out. So if you were gonna like sneak out of your apartment to go rob a bank, you would have to plan it to where nobody saw you sneaking out. It'd be easy. It'd be too easy to get caught, and you'd have to be naked the whole time. So the moment you get caught, it's just like
Why do you have to be naked?
because otherwise they wear clothes. Does the invisibility go over to our clothes?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, then yeah, maybe invisibility.
you'd have to be naked.
Well, if it's like invisibility and it doesn't count for clothes, then yeah, like Kevin Bacon in the movie Hollow, you'd have
Hollow
to
Man?
a Hollow Man, you'd have to be naked, and there'd be a CGI outline of your dick transforming into invisibility, which scarred me as a child, and then
I think that was just Kevin Bacon, like, being inappropriate.
being
Like,
like, get my dick
he's
in
like,
there.
he's like, yeah, clothes. I can't wear clothes because otherwise you could see him.
I'm a
Because I want
bit.
to be naked the whole time on set.
And everybody should buy this signed CD of the Bacon Brothers. It's me and my brother. We go out, we do music. Take this. All right, my dick's out. 3 action.
My cousin was in a movie with Kevin Bacon,
Really, what movie?
The Woodsman.
Haven't seen
Kevin Bacon is like a pedophile who gets out of jail, and
it.
he's stalking my cousin, who's like an active pedophile.
Oh, so it's like a pedophile chasing down another one, like redemption story, if there is one, a redemption arc. That's
I
and then
don't
the
know.
next, and then the
I think it's
next,
darker than that.
yeah, and then the next movie, he's just running around naked and invisible.
Um, okay. Therapy question number 4. Would you rather have the ability to teleport, but only to the nearest bathroom, or have the power to talk to plants, but they never have anything interesting to say?
The bathroom could be cool because you could put yourself bathroom adjacent somewhere badass and like teleport to it. So it's like, you're not allowed in this club. Get out of here. We're full, and maybe that's the nearest bathroom, and you teleport and like,
Oh yeah, you're just like in any building.
yeah, any building
Yeah,
you'd want to be in, you just have to be close to the bathroom, and you could get by it through a wall. That's what I'm saying,
never
man.
and you never shit your pants again.
You could rob a bank. Like, basically, I'm
I
trying to
said
rob.
again because I assumed you shit your pants before.
I mean, no, I've been. I won't tell those stories, but I've been there when other people have. But no,
I bet
yeah,
you have. I
yeah.
bet you have.
No,
Wife number 4,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you off air. It's pretty funny.
stepmom 4.
Yeah, stepmom 4, dude. She was wild.
That's in my Pornhub search.
She got the. She got that house, the Lexus, and like a couple other things. My dad was like, "Just go
I bet
away.
she did, dude.
Just go
I
away.
bet she
Just
did.
go away."
Shitting in her pants, like while she's putting her pillows on the bed.
Drinking Bud Dry. Who drinks Bud Dry? Do they even make that anymore? It's
I don't
wet.
know, but it's probably gay.
It's wet. So yeah, now look out.
But wet.
No,
That's the gay. That's the gay one.
Oh my goodness.
Happy Pride, y'all. Happy Pride.
No, for real, so happy Pride.
Yeah,
People
proud
are
boys. Proud
dude,
boys.
No, shut up. Do not even say that. Fuck those dudes. They're all going to prison, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, they're gonna be celebrating Pride in prison, dude.
And then of course DeSantis is like, "Oh,
You got a pretty mouth.
I'll totally pardon all those guys." It's like, fuck those dudes. All right, talk to plants would be chill though, because you could just talk shit to plants. And
Even though they don't like have anything interesting to say.
yeah, but they listen just because they don't talk.
Well, they already listen. Like you literally, if you talk to your plants mean, they don't grow. Like that's a proven fact.
Yeah, but they would respond. They just wouldn't have like anything deep to say. So I'd be like the smartest thing in the world to them.
Well, yeah, because they're fucking.
Over
plants.
time, I'd condition them, and then I'd like walk through the park, and they'd be like, "It's him with all the knowledge," and I'd be like, "What's up, y'all?" It'd be
Yeah,
tight.
some Ferngully type shit.
Yeah, for sure. Oh fuck yeah,
Yeah.
Ferngully.
So which one? I say bathroom.
Yeah, bathroom for sure, but I'm just making a case for plants.
Right.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
be too bad.
because like you can get on an airplane, you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to buy a ticket.
Yeah,
But if you
I
got
mean, like
caught, people
I
would
get
be
on
so confused.
I get on the Amtrak and then go into the bathroom if I like I've done this before where it's like there's two stops and I didn't want to buy a ticket, so I get on. They don't check your ticket before you get on, they check it after you're on. And I just go to the bathroom, hang out for two stops, and then just get off the train.
You know what you could do is you could just be a magician. You would just beat everyone's ass because you could just stand there in front of everyone with no frills, nothing, no sparks, and just disappear to the bathroom, and then reappear on the stage, and then it would trip people out. They'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like if
You
you,
know what what we're kind of over like we've kind of missed here is you're teleporting into a bathroom, but you don't know what's going on in that bathroom. So there's gonna be a lot of times you're teleporting and like you're like somebody's taking a shit, somebody's like
yeah, you don't know
doing
where in the
drugs,
bathroom you're gonna end up. That's what I'd say. You don't know like at what location.
or what's who's in there,
True.
you know. So a lot of yeah, that would it could be there's downside to it.
But I mean, I dig it.
Yeah, and I don't really want to talk to plants.
Like, hey,
Maybe
like,
like maybe some weed plants.
hey, you know, like, hey, man, what's up, dude?
What's up, bro?
Bro, do you see how crystally I'm, dude? Man, you gotta like really like, you know, like pull these buds off, man. They're getting real heavy. Just like cure them out, dude. I made it like really good for you, dude. You know my flavor, bro. It's lit, dude. For sure, man.
On God.
Yeah, on God, no cap. Upon a thy Lord, no bonnet, dude.
Bet, bet.
On strength. I've been saying that, but you gotta say it like a dad, like on God. On God. Because we're getting
Nice
to that.
coin.
Because
On God.
oh, dude, I was in a meeting today, and they're trying to show us a video, and Andrew Dice Clay pops up on like the TV. I guess they had it on like Conan or something in this meeting before we got into it, and it was just Andrew Dice Clay sitting up there, like, oh, I was like, what are you guys watching? I don't think this is HR sanctioned. I don't think we should be playing Andrew Dice Clay stand up. And
I used to illegally download his stand-ups on Napster and listen to him in my room, the audio, and George Carlin,
oh, of
obviously.
course, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, final therapy question. Bonus therapy question. Usually we only have four. Today, there's a fifth. Therapy question number five. Would you rather have a personal theme song that plays whenever you walk, or have your own personal cloud that follows you everywhere and rains on command?
Why do I want a cloud?
Dude, that would be tight.
No, that'd just be some sad boy shit.
No, because it's on command. Like
I mean,
you
you
just
could
whenever you want to make it rain, you make
see.
it rain.
Well, see, that would be handy to the launch of Christ Coin, because you could be like, oh, like God, you could make it rain, and people be like, oh my God, like
Oh yeah, yeah,
you could
yeah.
like save. You'd be like the savior of Africa. You'd be the coolest white boy in
Yeah,
Africa of
we're
all time.
teleporting. We're
Yeah, we're
teleporting to bathrooms, and we got
yeah.
we can make it rain.
They teleport on a plane, get to like somewhere where there's a famine, there's a big drought. You go
Yeah,
around, you make it rain for the hose. Hey
that's what I'm
everybody,
saying.
and you just like walk slowly. You'd be huge. You'd be a big hit. That's true.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You could take over the planet with powers like that.
And guess what? I can bring a speaker with me, a Bluetooth with me, if I need a personal theme song everywhere I walk.
The
That
theme
bad
song
boy.
would be tight. I would probably pick the theme song because then, I mean, that'd be fun.
What kind of theme song?
I don't know. I'm thinking
Like it would be like Shaft like type music.
maybe maybe funky or maybe kind of something jazzy, or it'd be yeah maybe like Sanford and Son or something like.
Aren't you over your own theme song? Like yeah, that's cool for a day, and then you're like, I don't ever want to hear Rebecca Black's Friday ever fucking
No,
again.
that would be a Good Friday theme song. That's all you can listen to all day. That'd be fantastic. I got this, you got this. I can't help it. It's too good. It's too good. It's lyrically, it's one of the best songs ever
I'm
written.
picking the personal cloud.
The cloud would be good, but see, I think about the cloud, and I'm just like, how can I manipulate this with teleporting to bathrooms and having your own rain cloud that rains on command? You could take over the world.
Yeah, I know.
You could
You
start
would.
like a cult. He
Yes.
disappears and comes back all the time. He can make it rain on command. It's the wildest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I want to overtake the government.
You would change the rap game, the strip club game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Y'all are throwing money up. I'm making it
Well, that cloud would be out.
wet.
That cloud would be outside of the building.
No, it follows you wherever you go.
How big of a cloud?
Oh, see, I'm thinking this cloud is like in close proximity,
No, I'm thinking it's
like a normal cloud
like a cloud.
distance.
Yeah, like a cloud distance, and it's just above you, and it's a big
So
ass
you
cloud.
can't do it. You can't do it indoors, is what you're saying?
So like if I want to make it rain, the rain has an effect. It's not just like making me damp all the time.
Just oh yeah, it's just not raining on you.
Yeah, so that way, because that's what I'm saying. Is that some emo boy shit? You'd be like, man,
Yeah, yeah,
he's so dark. He's always he said he's always wet. Like your
yeah.
clothes would be
Your
damp.
theme song is Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because I listen to that in the dark, cry, and masturbate. That's usually what I do.
Okay, that's fair.
So if I could add a cloud of rain to that, that'd be nice.
Be wet.
It would be wet. All right, y'all. We are done with therapy questions for the day. Now we're moving on to the current affairs, the topics of the day. Joseph,
Don't sell. First one: SEC seeks temporary restraining order to freeze Binance U.S. assets. I didn't get a chance to read this one that deep because it just popped up. But Binance is one of the largest crypto.
is the largest.
Is the largest, and now the SEC is sues crypto exchange Binance and CEO for allegedly multiple security violations. I mean,
Which is what's funny about this is, so this guy who's I what's his fucking he has like a weird like acronym, the guy who runs Binance, but they were heavily invested in FTX with Sam Bankman Fried, and so they were the ones who actually started selling all of their stake in FTX, and then he like told everybody that he was doing that, and that was actually what started to bring FTX down.
yeah,
Yeah, it started the run on them, and then but like because they were actually supposed to like buy FTX, and then instead they just
crashed it.
Yeah, fucked it, and then now they're being looked into for all this fraud.
I mean, I think that is rampant across this industry at this point. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and if you're still deeply involved in it, to where you have like your whole life savings in crypto, I don't think that's not the smartest decision you could be making right now.
I mean, it depends who you ask, but yeah, so they froze all their assets because of compliance and control failures. Yeah, it's weird. I forget. I heard about this. Peng Zhao is the CEO, but I think he goes by something else. Like,
Zhao,
yeah, maybe it's CPZ. That's what I think they call him because that's his.
CPZ.
That yeah.
How do you get? That's what I'm saying. They come up with these ridiculous.
It's just his initials.
Yeah, the SEC respectfully submits that this relief is necessary on the expedited basis to ensure that safety of customers' assets and prevent the dissipation of available assets for any judgment given the defendant's year of volatile conduct, disregard of the laws of the United States, invasion of regulatory oversight, and open questions about various financial trusts and the custody and control of customer assets, including by defendants who claim that they are not subject to the court's jurisdiction as described in the complaint. I mean, I'm sure they're fucked, man. The moment people start sniffing around these dudes,
Right.
it all crumbles. It all falls apart like a house made of Pringles.
And what this guy was actually pissed at Sam Bankman-Fried for was because he was buying off all the politicians. You know, like Democrat, Republican didn't matter. Like he was lining all of their pockets. Well, it turns out maybe that was a better idea than not doing that because then you wouldn't have these guys, the SEC, coming up in him. You
Yeah.
know, like it took like a clusterfuck catastrophe for FTX to go down. It wasn't like the SEC was coming around anytime soon until it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, bro.
I just saw this pop up and I thought I'd bring it in because we've talked about this. Binance
Yeah.
had
But and also
yeah, CZ. They call them tied to CZ.
CZ, there you go.
Sigma Chain and Merit Park access to billions of US dollars of customers' funds held by BAM Trading.
And Coinbase, which is publicly traded, it's on the stock market. That's so I started using it the day that it went public.
Yeah.
That's it became my exchange or my wallet. They're under investigation for fucking up, and also like their stocks in the fucking gutter. So that, like they might go under.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man.
So get your money out because you know who owns your crypto? Not with Christcoin, but other crypto. It's whoever owns the wallet or the exchange.
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah.
so you're not going to get your funds back if this goes under.
Oh, no, that's why they're
But I mean,
freezing.
I guess if they froze the assets, yeah,
Yeah, then they can try to give people their shit back, and that's what they're gonna have to start doing because whenever they start sniffing around, people start selling their shit off like bam, 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 bam,
right.
and bail, and then they catch them after the fact, and they're in like Monaco or something, sipping brandy and puffing cigars, and like, what are you talking about? Or they're just weird and like live in the Bahamas and live in some little shitty penthouse apartment with their friends down the hall, and they're like,
It
what?
was, yeah, it wasn't that shitty. Like it's overhyped how shitty it was.
He was. I
But
mean, as
but
far
point
as
taken,
far as
point
like
taken.
billionaire hiding spots, that's like not
Well,
menacing. You got to be somewhere menacing if you're gonna be a billionaire.
they had like a giant mansion that wasn't like the office, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Just
but
saying.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna be a billionaire and you're on the run, find something cooler than like a old Ace Hardware. Like, come on, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Next article: Assemble the clown car. The past couple days, I think Chris Christie announced today.
I'm excited for Chris Christie to get in the race. Like everything, like yeah. So Chris Christie got in, Mike Pence got in.
Well, hold on. So I'm going to go through them. So right now you got
Okay.
the incumbent President Biden, Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramsway,
God, I hate that guy.
Larry Elder,
Uh,
Asha Hutchison, Tim Scott, Turtle Man, fucking Meatball Ron, Warm Milk Pence, and Chris Christie. And the Democratic candidates: Marianne Williamson, Robert F.
that's
Kennedy,
dude. Okay, I've got to go off on a lot of these
and
people
then
right now.
we will. And then there's Cornell West, just announced the other day that
Yeah,
he's running. And people
right.
that aren't yet in the race: Glenn Youngkin, I fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Doug Burgum, Larry Hogan, Mike Pompeo, blow it out your ass.
No, Mike, he's not running anymore.
Chris Sununu, and that's what we got.
Chris Sununu just announced he's not going to run. Um, he's the governor of New Hampshire. He thinks I don't know. Okay, so let's go down that list again. So you like Biden, Trump, and then
Biden, Trump, and then the
who?
next one was Nikki Haley.
Okay, so Nikki Haley just had a town hall on what was it, Saturday, with Jake Tapper on CNN, and this bitch said that trans students, like biological boys, as she would say, uh, playing women's sports is the quote women girls issue of our time. And then she said that biological boys being in a girls' locker room, it, and she goes, and like, there's biological boys in the girls' locker room, and you wonder why we have high suicide rates among teenage girls.
Well, that's her trying to deflect from all the other major issues that women have. Now, if a woman says they have an issue with it, or that and they're an
The issue
athlete,
of our time,
no, that's like so hyperbolic, it's absurd. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, like Roe v. Wade got overturned.
Yeah, no, that's her trying to deflect from the fact that there's all these
Right.
other
And
issues.
and then she equates the high teen suicide rate to trans people being in the locker room at schools. Just the fuck up. Like it was like as if she had like all these like she's like, oh, teen suicides are up. Like my base wants to hear about me like bashing trans people and then just like mashed them up together and it's like you're a fucking idiot. Like
A former governor of South Carolina and U.S. ambassador to the United Nations under Trump joined the race in mid-February, becoming the first challenger to her former boss.
oh yeah,
51.
also
Oh,
yeah,
so
first should be the first Asian American to to be president if she wins.
Oh yeah, I forgot that if she wins, she's gonna claim the Asian
Right, right.
American. Yeah. She said that
First
she,
woman of color is what she
as
said.
part of a new generation of Republican leadership, and proposed mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over the age of 75.
That's far out of her reach. Yeah, she's. We should give her a mental competency test.
Yeah, she was born in South Carolina, the daughter of two Indian immigrants. Then there's Vivek Ramsway.
Ugh. Okay,
Ramaswamy? Yeah, no, Ramswamy.
this guy just said, okay, this guy is a tech bro. He and he thinks he's like the smartest guy in the room. Whenever like you see him talk, he thinks like that's for sure a fact. I just heard him say that what we should do in the war with, in Ukraine is uh, negotiate a deal where Russia gets to keep everything that they have right now, where the battle lines are, and so Ukraine has to basically give up like a third of its country to Russia, and then the United States will also agree that Ukraine will never ever be a part of NATO, and then in return, Russia would have to agree to rip up their deal with China. So Russia rips up the deal with China, but then gets to end the war and keep all of the territory that it seized. That's this guy's plan.
Hmm. Says he's a former biotech executive, is considered a long shot for the nomination, but is so far the only third Republican to jump into the race. At 37 and a net worth of nearly 600 million, he declared himself an anti-woke capitalist, decried corporate investment based on environmental, social, and governance principles.
He's a moron.
He's a native of Cincinnati, Ohio, and has ties to Senator J.D. Vance and a major GOP donor in Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel, who founded PayPal with Elon, and then also he uh, he was on the board of Facebook early on, so he early investor in Facebook. So he's like working on How to Live Forever. He's the one who like took down Gawker with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Larry Elder from California.
Larry Elder. Dude, we've eviscerated that motherfucker on this podcast. Like it was, I think, before you took over because he was running against Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that women deserve more blame in domestic abuse cases. He said that white slave owners, like the descendants of white slave owners, deserve reparations because when the slaves were freed, that was their property being taken from them.
Oh, dude, Larry Elder.
And this guy's black.
Yeah,
he's black.
He's a conservative talk radio host. Larry Elder was a gubernatorial candidate for the 2021 recall effort. The recall effort failed, and Gavin Newsom kept his post, but Elder received the most votes, nearly 3.6 million, out of a large field trying to replace Newsom. Elder announced his bid for president in April on Fox News. Yeah, he's like just the epitome of a moron. Larry Elder is
fucking crazy. He says shit that like I've never even like thought like I could think of. Who else is on that list?
Asha Hutchinson, former governor of Arkansas, became the fourth Republican to announce the 2024 bid, and he was getting into the race on April 2nd. He's 72, served 2 terms as a governor from 2015 to 2023, former congressman, and one of the House impeachment managers for Bill Clinton's impeachment trial. He said he opposes Trump's third attempt to win the White House, describing a possible 2024 nomination as the worst possible scenario.
Yeah, it's Asa Hutchinson.
Asa.
And, yeah. He's like the first one who's like willing to talk shit about Trump, except for he does it like very, very mildly, and he's like older, and I'm not sure if he's gonna catch fire, but he doesn't seem like a terrible person, which a lot of this list has terrible people or stupid people.
Yeah, and before we get more into it, like there's a power vacuum. So if Trump steps out, let's say Trump gets indicted, Trump goes to prison, let's say he doesn't get the nomination and he goes to prison, which we'll get into. That's there's gonna be a void. So a lot of these people are betting because if let's say Trump wins the nomination and gets reelected, worst case scenario, let's say that actually happens, he's gonna destroy all of the people on this list that have chose to go up against him and try to take votes from him. And he's not gonna do any debates, so they're gonna sit up there and be talking shit about him like crazy because he's not gonna even be in the room.
No, see, I disagree. I think once these people, like, let's say that Trump really doesn't want to debate, like in the primary, he's going to see the debate go on without him, and he's not going to be able to take it. He's going to be like, oh, yeah, I should be up there, like talking like, oh, fuck this. Like his ego is like, won't let him miss out on
But
like
I
the
could
camera
see
time.
him. I could see him doing something like a response to the debates, right after the debate ends. Because you don't think Fox or any of them would run that shit, OAN or any of those goofy
They
ass channels.
would, but I mean, like, what's the saddest thing ever is like whenever the president does the State of the Union, and then whatever party's out of office at that time, they have somebody do the rebuttal. Never fucking works out. It's always the worst. Like whoever does that,
It's
like
like
death sentence.
Marco Rubio,
Marco Rubio with the water,
yeah, with the
yeah,
water that sunk
yeah,
him for a little while.
yeah. Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana, who thought he was running for president, just like eviscerated. Who did it this last time? It was Huckabee, Huckabee's daughter.
Oh, dude,
That she's the governor of Arkansas now.
she's the worst.
I
Oh,
know.
all right, next on the list.
Can you do a Sarah Huckabee
No,
Sanders?
I need to work on that. That's a chore and a half. The next one is Tim Scott. Tim Scott of South Carolina ended speculation about his political future on May 19th, filing a statement for his candidacy to the Federal Election Commission. He formally launched his presidential campaign in North Charleston. We live in a land of opportunity. We live in a land where it is absolutely possible for a kid to be raised in poverty in a single parent household in a small apartment to one day serve in the people's house and maybe even the White House, he said. I hate that. I hate Tim Scott. He's betting on the appeal for an upbeat vision for the country. I see that America is starving for positive, optimistic leadership. In an interview, he also declined twice to commit to supporting Trump if the former president wins the nomination.
Bullshit. He would, if Trump wanted him to be his vice president, he would sign the fuck up real quick.
That'd be a good vice president pick for him because he's so nice, or comes off as nice, and people are like, oh, and all the people that are like, I hate every minority and anybody who's different, but I like him because he talks about things I care about, like Jesus in
That's what.
school.
Yeah, yeah. It is weird, like that. Every presidential cycle, it seems like the Republicans have a black guy like who's running, like whether it's Ben Carson or what's his name, the Godfather of pizzas, who died from
Uh,
COVID,
oh my God, what's his name? Herman Cain.
Herman Cain, the
Oh,
Cain train, the Cain train. Yeah, yeah. Becky Stan. I think that's a quote from him.
yeah, dude.
Trump killed him with COVID.
Yeah, yeah, really, he did. He killed
Yeah,
him with COVID, and
we're not even saying allegedly.
he almost killed Chris Christie.
Yeah, he almost killed Chris Christie, who's another one on this list. So Chris Christie, like everybody on like CNN or MSNBC, when this has been brought up like the last week that he's going to be running, they just like out the gate dismiss him. They're like, oh, well, that's a 0% chance he's going to win. And I'm like, why? And he has a 40, Christie has a 47% disapproval rating with the Republican Party,
Yeah,
which I don't even dislike him. Like, like I would be okay with him being in the White House. I think like it's not an existential threat to the
if
country.
if you have to pick somebody, I mean, I guess, but we'll get to him. So the next one's Meatball Ron. We've
Okay.
made fun of Meatball Ron all the time. He's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
huge piece of
Listen to
shit.
this.
Most
Listen to
dangerous person in the country.
Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I've said that for the
I
whole
know,
time
but
we've been on this podcast.
just
He is,
and
dude.
I've been telling you, just give him way too much credit. But he would like to be. He would like to be if he was competent enough. But I don't know if this is real or not. But I saw this today. It was a TikTok video, and it was this guy just goes, "Ron DeSantis, you need to fire your entire PR team," which we've been saying. But then he just turns the video. He's at a gas pump at a gas station, and they have like the little TVs,
Yeah.
some of them. Yeah, it's an advertisement, and I don't know if this was like AI, like deep fake or not, like because like the mouth wasn't like matching up to the words. but it was it was DeSantis, and it was like, "Hey, I'm Ron DeSantis," and he's like, "And if you go inside right now and you say promo code DeSantis, you can get a percentage off on a meatball sub."
That's not real. That's not
It's
real.
I was like, I watched it like 3 times. I'm like, is this real? Is he leaning into the meatball Ron? He's like, get a
That'd be
meatball.
smart. That'd be
It seemed
smart.
like something that his PR team would do, like go in and get a meatball sub from the gas station. Oh yeah, and it was like, no, I guess it probably wasn't real because now I realized the ending is like, it's like Ron DeSantis. I like to eat at gas stations.
That's
Oh,
no, that's not real. No,
that'd be
but
cool if it was.
yeah, but he's the most dangerous. He's the most scary man. Just because he's like
Did you
fucking
see
nuts.
his wife at a thing? I think it was like they were in Iowa on stage, and she said that their daughter, his DeSantis's daughter, watches Frozen every single day,
Oh yeah,
and and then he just like he like cringes. He's like ah, because he's like fucking trying to fight Disney.
yeah,
It's like your fucking daughter watches this shit every day.
and you're just like fuck.
And they got married at Disney World.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know that. I do know that. The picture.
Dude, how has Trump not just like clowned him over and over for that?
Oh, he's somebody who's like, I hope he doesn't show up for the debates because if he does, I'm toast.
Who?
DeSantis.
Oh well, I think Christie will get DeSantis's ass
Oh,
because
Christie.
Christie also
Well,
was a governor, and then also did you see? So DeSantis might be getting charged with kidnapping. Have
yeah,
you seen
because
this?
well, yeah, we talked about it before, where because he flies my immigrants all over the
Right,
country.
but Gavin Newsom, my governor out here in California, just tweeted. He goes and added him, whatever they say, at me. He added Ron DeSantis, and he goes, "You small, pathetic man." And then he goes, "Kidnapping?" Question mark. And then he posted the definition of kidnapping, and it just like was exactly verbatim what DeSantis did, which was he tricked people to get on a plane. The plane came from Florida, picked up these people in Texas. They stopped in New Mexico, and then they dropped them off in Sacramento. And they told them that there was jobs there, which was a lie. Like
Is
they're
it?
seriously investigating him for
No,
this.
I hope they are. He's a piece of shit. The next one is Mike Pence.
Mike Pence also has a high unfavorable rating in the Republican Party. It's like in the high 30% people don't like him.
Well, because if you're super pro Trump, then you hate Mike Pence because he didn't do his duty on January 6th.
He didn't steal the election.
Yeah, so because he didn't come through on his promise like Trump asked him to, and he asked him nicely, and he still didn't do it like that. Because of that, they hate him. That's it. It's because it's like same with Nikki Haley. They're gonna really hate Nikki Haley because she used to work for Trump. So the people that are super
But why
pro
would they
Trump
hate that
because it's like you've betrayed him. Now
by running against him?
yeah, the deep state's gotten to you, and now you're against him.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's why I said if he does get reelected, all these people are like dead fucking meat.
Now, see, I think that you think that he's like too absolutist in that. I think that because Chris Christie was running against him like the first time he ran, and then Chris Christie became he's the person who led the transition team for Trump. I think it's like if these people can help him out, like Tim Scott's not dead to him, you know.
Maybe
It's
not
like
Tim Scott, but Pence already is.
well, Pence, yeah,
Christie would be,
Christie for sure, because Christie's going to come after him.
and Christie's gonna come after him. DeSantis already is.
Well, yeah, DeSantis,
So I'm
yeah.
saying like, and Nikki Haley will be dead to him because he already talked shit about Nikki Haley.
What did he say? She's a nasty woman.
Yeah, like yeah, just because she's taking a sense. She's saying like you need to take a mental competency test. And he, right, that's wild. But
Well,
Pence,
she says anybody over 75, and so she can get away with like she meant Biden, but she means Trump as well. It's like a dog whistle.
yeah, I mean, I think that Pence is too much of a polarizing figure in the January 6th stuff.
Who is Pence's voter? Like who besides his wife?
People who are like Quakers,
I could see his
Mormons,
wife not even voting for
Quakers,
him.
Mennonites.
No,
Yeah, Mennonites would vote for Pence.
no,
The Amish. People who
no.
are like, cover yourself from head to toe, put on these gloves and this bonnet, and I'll drive to the store. Do not leave this room.
The
Those
Amish
are
don't even know who Pence is.
maybe
I mean,
not.
maybe.
I feel like he hangs out with them, like
Yeah, I
shows
was gonna
up.
say maybe he
He's
does.
yeah. They just know that he's running because he goes to
He's
their.
hanging out with Jethro.
Yeah, he goes. That's where he gets his furniture and like his baked goods and his pies and his quilts. He goes to the Amish markets. I wouldn't put that past him.
As long as there's no women around,
Yeah, well, that's why
because he can't be caught with.
because the
Yeah,
women aren't allowed to work in the store, so that's why he
right.
goes to the Amish stores. He's like, finally, men.
That's why he was so down when Aunt Jemima got canceled,
Yeah,
because then he could eat breakfast by himself,
yeah,
like
yeah,
without having a woman bottle, like
yeah. Especially like a curvy black
black woman.
woman. Yeah, that's just too
Hmm.
much. It's a it's the devil's syrup. Oh yeah, Chris Christie, Mister, I'm going to shut down a bridge in retaliation. Former New Jersey governor. He's been all over TV lately.
Doesn't it seem so quaint that the Brit like him shutting down the bridge now compared to like after living through Trump?
Yeah, I mean that's just like him being an ass.
Oh no,
Like just proving a point. Like I could shut your shit down,
right.
and Trump's like, I could grab your shit and you'd love it, and that's the big difference.
Yeah, and DeSantis is like, I would try to shut down but I would fail.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut down Disney. Donald Trump is a TV star, nothing more, nothing less. Let me suggest that you putting him back in the White House, the reruns will be the worst. Well, the reruns will be worse than the original show. That's pretty good. See, he's gonna have some zingers. So
Yeah,
that's what we got to give Chris Christie for, and that's why I am kind of glad he's in this race. I mean, I knew he was going to. Like I said, he's an opportunist. So like now, if Trump steps out of the way, he's probably your most likely candidate besides Trump. He's probably your biggest vote puller because he's not doing any goofy shit, and he's been in politics, so he knows how to go about doing it. And he's been on this stage multiple times and failed, but he's always got some zingers. So he's going to definitely go after DeSantis. He's going to clown Tim Scott. He's going to sit up there, and if he's going to he's going to be the best candidate to pull people from the left, Democratic voters, to decide to vote for a Republican. They'd vote for Chris Christie. Anybody
right.
else on that list, it's like a clown show, and he's part of it, but he's like the least threatening clown.
But well, the thing is, because he like single-handedly destroyed Marco Rubio's uh last time he was, or in 2016 when they were all running. Do you remember that? They were on the debate stage and Rubio had this like canned like script of what he was saying about Barack Obama, and he would like he said it, and then Chris Christie goes, "Look, he's like typical politician. He doesn't even answer the question. He has like this like pre-planned thing that he's gonna say, and that all of his like staff told him to say, and then literally 2 minutes later." Rubio starts saying the exact same thing that he just got called him out for. He goes, look, he's doing it. He's doing it. And
Yeah,
then Marco Rubio does it again. And then he pulled out. Marco Rubio pulled out because it was just like so embarrassing.
yeah,
And so,
he's out of.
but we have to get worried though because Christie, according to all these people, he doesn't even have a shot in the Republican Party because he's got a 47% disapproval rating. Like,
But
he
like I
might,
said, I
but he
think that
might, but he
those.
might take out all these other people for Trump, clear the way for Trump.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I think that those people that are saying they don't like him are just forever Trumpers, because people
The
is
47% that don't like him are all
are
that's
a
the
lot.
47% that Trump
It's like
voters.
yeah, it's like a big chunk of that is Trump voters.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so I mean that's what I'm saying is to the average Trump voter, all of these people are traitors because right now Donald Trump talks about them like traitors. He might befriend them later because they might be advantage. It'll be like, be nice to him. We had a nice talk. We
Yeah,
cleared it up. He might do that later, but in the moment, he's gonna eviscerate all of them. And if he doesn't see a use for you, he's going to destroy you.
right. It's like just look at his relationship with Kevin McCarthy. It's like they like have talked shit about each other, but then they'll like be like, oh, we talked it through, we've made up, like, and because like Kevin McCarthy could like help him out in some sort of way, but
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, I just don't. If they don't serve a purpose, he's just gonna
right.
drop them.
But that's everybody in his life. You don't have to like betray him like in order for him to do that. He's like,
Democratic Party, Marianne Williamson, first Democratic to declare. William 70, author and spiritual advisor who sought the not Democratic nomination in 2020 but failed to gain traction.
She is like actually a lot smarter and more on point than I think she got credit for. Everybody was like, "Oh, who's this kooky ass lady who like is friends with Oprah?" And it's like actually she says like some pretty like on point shit. Like she's not like an idiot.
Yeah, and then there's Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's take this fool out right now. This guy is
He's a plant. I feel like
he
he's a plant.
he's a grifter. He's an anti-vaxxer, like
Yep.
anti-vaxxer before the pandemic. He said that school shootings are caused because of antidepressants. He said before Prozac came on board, there was no school shootings, and now that Prozac is kids take Prozac, there is school shootings.
Yeah.
And he also said that we should look at the war in Ukraine from Russia's perspective. And he said also he wants to, and this is a fact, he said he wants to permanently close the southern border.
He's a best-selling author and environmental lawyer who worked on issues such as clean water, but more than 15 years ago, he became fixated on a belief that vaccines are not safe, and has emerged as one of the leading voices in the movement. And his work has been described by the public health experts and even as misleading, dangerous. His anti-vax efforts intensified during the pandemic. Um,
35, he has a 35% of people would vote for him over Biden right now.
his anti-vaccine charity saw revenues double.
That this guy is fucking dangerous, dangerous. Like it's like you think like, oh, RFK was like, Robert Kennedy was like fucking awesome, before he got assassinated. This is like his son who's like seen some shit and went off the fucking deep end. And like this guy, it's like I think people don't once they find out who he is. But I hope that they do find out who he is because it's not like a Trump thing where it's like, oh, he's a great business guy, he was great on TV, and like they don't actually like look into it, like because
It's
it's
like
bad.
nepotism, and nobody told him to shut the fuck up.
or,
Cornell,
or his dad got shot, and
yeah,
then he like just like went spiraled like, dude, fuck that guy.
yeah. Cornell West just announced on Twitter the other day via video that he's going to be running with the People's Party.
Right.
Um,
What do you think about that?
I think it's. I mean, I think it's just his. He's arrogant as fuck. I'd love to
They're
see
not.
him. I don't think. I don't think he's taking it as serious as some people think he is. I think that. But if we have some debates or something like that, and Cornell West gets to go up there and chit chat, that'd be funny.
Well, he doesn't get to go to the Democratic debate because he's not a Democrat.
That's true.
But also that what's the party called that he's running on?
People's Party.
The People's Party. They're not. They don't have the ballots in all 50 states. Like they don't have enough to where he could even win 270 electoral votes. So this is just a straight up protest vote.
Well, good. That makes sense. Well, that's
But
not necessarily good.
yeah, it's not great.
Republicans, not Youngkin.
Youngkin hasn't announced.
Yeah, he hasn't announced yet. This is at 20
He's
Republicans
the
have not
what,
yet announced.
governor of Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia by the skin of his teeth. I'm going to be working in Virginia this year. Um, Doug Burgum, North
Yeah,
Dakota's governor.
governor of North Dakota. He's running because North Dakota is close to Iowa.
Makes
You
sense. And then,
know,
no, yeah, it says that who's definitely not running, and it's Pompeo, Larry Hogan, and Chris Sununu.
yeah. Pompeo thought he was going to run. I don't know who the fuck he thought was going to vote for him, but he quickly found out nobody.
I think that there's some people who have like kind of an inside track of like maybe what's coming down the pipe for Trump, and like I said, they're stepping up and trying to fill that
Okay,
void.
but if they think that like Trump getting indicted like again and again and again is gonna like turn off the base, like where the like his voters are gonna go to somebody else, they're fucking idiots. The only thing that they like can hope for is that he, yeah, because does anybody put it past Trump to continue to try to be president from jail? There's nothing in the Constitution preventing him from being president in jail. Now, can he pardon himself? Like I was thinking about that the other day. You can't
Well,
pardon yourself, can you?
No, but no one's ever tried. That's what they're saying is if he doesn't get
But you would think
elected,
Trump would have already done that.
well, he hasn't had to yet. But so that's what they're saying is would he now?
Right. So he gets elected and then just pardon. See, if I was him, well, let's say you couldn't pardon yourself. He gets elected and then he's just whoever his vice president is, he steps down and with the agreement, his vice president will just pardon him.
Hmm? Well, next set of articles. It's all about all this goofy Trump shit. It came out today via the New York Times. But Chief of Staff Mark Meadows testified in front of Jack Smith's special grand juries. Apparently, there's two grand juries, one for Florida and then one in the New York area or DC.
No, one in DC.
Yeah, DC. I'm sorry, I was thinking another grand jury that he has.
Oh,
Somebody else's in DC.
well, that
All right,
grand jury is no longer because they actually brought indictments.
um,
Now it's a real jury.
that he's he's the highest ranking person in the White House, chief of staff.
Chief of staff.
While
Yep.
this is all going on, and it just came out today that he was questioned and answered a bunch of questions in front of this grand jury. I mean, what do you think about this? This is just the beginning, like I said, House of Cards. Like
It's not the beginning. We're getting towards the end here.
No, but I'm saying in the beginning of like this bombshell information, like I don't think he knew that Mark Meadows had testified until like we found out that he testified. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying is it's the beginning. If it's the beginning of the end, and
Yeah.
it might be at the end of their investigation. But for us as people just watching, now we're starting to get all these juicy tidbits because that's someone that's like, why haven't they talked to that guy yet? He's refusing subpoenas. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. Come to find out,
I think he's been doing it.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple options for him, which is like they can get him to plead guilty to a lesser crime if he's willing to like work with them, or what I think they'll do is because he's probably criminally liable for a lot of this shit. So instead of him just pleading the fifth, and then hoping that they don't have enough evidence to like convict him of something, they might give him immunity. So they're like, hey, we're not going to charge you with the crime as long as you tell us everything.
Well, I
And if
think
we
the
find
immunity deals are going to be huge.
right, yeah, and then if you're lying, then the immunity deal's off, and then we'll just fuck you. But I guarantee you, Mark Meadows does not want to see one fucking day of prison, and he's probably squealing like a motherfucker. Like they got the recorded tape of Trump with like a
Well, hold on,
document in his hand.
I know we'll get to that. I got the other one.
But my point is that when during that, the people he was talking to was the ghostwriters for Mark Meadows' autobiography.
Yeah, that's because he had notes and audio notes. Where Mark, like that's where it's like narcissists like bringing on their own demise because they're so obsessed with themselves. He's like, oh, somebody's walking around my meetings and taking notes for the book I'm writing about myself and my place in history in the White House, and all this stuff going on, and that's some of the information that's being used.
What Trump would do, and I guess like it's weird that we were just finding this out, but anytime that he would do any sort of like interview with the media or the media was around, he would record it because he wanted to have like a copy of it in case like that fake news media like said something that wasn't true, and then he had a recording of it, he could prove it. Except for that's him projecting. It's like you're the only one lying around here, bro. Like,
Yeah.
So now you just have tapes of you just saying fucking like criminal shit. Like, and his lawyer, they had to pierce the lawyer client privilege because they thought there was crimes being committed with the lawyer, but the whole time the lawyer was recording voice memos like verbatim of everything that was happening because he knew that he could get fucked. And so now they have all these recordings like contemporaneously like recorded during while this shit's going on of the lawyer basically confessing to everything.
They've got
So
it all, man.
everything's recorded. Yeah.
It's like
you
it's a
didn't learn
house
from
of fucking
Nixon.
cards. It's a house of fucking cards, man.
Okay, hit him with what happened in Mar-a-Lago.
Oh yeah, well, so it's not pulling it up. I think it might be a video, which I hope it's not. So yeah, I mean it is. So what happened in Mar-a-Lago is this is supposed, but they subpoenaed. So basically, whenever there's all this is in the document case, which is a totally separate grand jury that exists in Florida. In this Florida grand jury, whenever they found out that there might have been documents moved or placed, shuffled around whenever they were searching or before they got searched, or whisked away to Bedminster or wherever the fuck they took him, or they buried him in his dead wife's grave. Some people think that he did that. Nobody knows, because some of these are missing. So they were subpoenaed. They subpoenaed all the surveillance footage from the resort because he's got cameras fucking everywhere. Then the offices and the hallways and his living quarters. So he wanted all. They subpoenaed all of this data. It just so happens that some random pool guy who is now under heavy investigation, and they're looking into him and his employment history and all this shit, drained the pool at Mar-a-Lago, and subsequently in draining the pool, he flooded the room with the servers and the computers. But the catch is
for the video surveillance.
yeah, for the video surveillance. So he flooded the room after they were subpoenaed. This dude flooded the fucking room where all this stuff is kept, but subsequently it didn't damage any of it, so everything was fine. So they still got all of it, and supposedly there's like dress rehearsals for moving this shit on camera. So they like practice this over time. So they didn't subpoena from like that day or that week. They subpoenaed video from like an extended period of time.
Yeah. They had a practice run if they had to get rid of the documents, like what to do. That's true. They have on camera the same pool boy moving the documents boxes like right the day before the FBI came in to serve the warrant. Same guy's moving boxes is the same guy who just draining the pool, who just happens to flood the fucking video room with all the surveillance tape. And so, and the fact that we're learning about this, like, it means like that this is like this is going to be evidence used against them, like in a conspiracy to commit a crime. And the reason why there's a grand jury in DC and there's a grand jury in Florida, because there's, there could be some people, pool boy excluded, but that also might have like done some criminal shit, like, but they didn't really know about it. So like for like them to try that case of like somebody who was like an insulary like involved like with this stuff, to take them to DC like when they're like just like they work for Mar-a-Lago, it all happened in Florida, would be kind of weird.
Well, remember, he has Mark Meadows, him testifying to both grand juries, because DC's also, some of it goes around the January 6th stuff. So Jack Smith is
that too, yeah.
So like there's the January 6th stuff, and Mark Meadows testifying. He's a key witness in both of these, and in the documents and handling of these documents after he was out of office. He was this campaign. He was the head of his campaign whenever he ran for re-election in 2020. So it's like he's deeply tied to this, and on both sides.
And everybody, like all like of Trump's like all of his kids were like texting Mark Meadows during January 6th, like trying, like he was the go-to, like that's what the chief of staff is. It's like you talk to the chief of staff, and the chief of staff tells you whether or not you get to talk to the president. That's how that shit works.
Yeah, so just be prepared, man. There might be he might be charged by the end of this week, man. That's totally possible.
No, I heard that. Yeah, I heard from a credible source that they think, because the last thing that they do in a case like this
is they meet with you.
Yeah, they let the lawyers of the defendant or would-be defendant come and just like make one last case of like why they shouldn't charge them, and they just did that this week. So they did that yesterday,
and they just like walked straight to their car. They didn't answer any questions. They were just like, get out of our way. So it's probably coming. Trump's melting down. He's truthing like a crazy person in all caps. And he's like, how can they charge me? Which means that he knows that he's going to be charged at this point. Super interesting. Pay attention. But it seems like this house of cards is really just collapsing, and we're getting to see it, and to what extent. But he's also getting to see to the extent of what they know and what they don't know. And they got you on audio. Apparently, he's waving a paper, and you can hear the paper. And he's like, I'd show you this, and it's war plans on how to evade Iran, and they never got that piece of paper back. So
they don't know where that is.
They have no idea.
But he's also admitting that he can't show it to him because it's classified.
Yeah, he's like, I can't show it, but I would, but I want to.
He declassified it with his mind, right?
He's like, I want to show it to you, but I can't because it's classified. And then you hear him wiggling it in the air. That's wild. It basically punches a hole in his whole defense.
Everything that Trump says in all caps is all cap.
Facts. On God.
Yeah, he's truth in all cap.
Last thing, the greatest spy in the history of the U.S. Mr. Robert Hansen was selling secrets since
To the
'85 to
Russians.
the fucking Russians. Died in jail. This guy was kind of a piece of shit, man. He had what 5 people get kidnapped, 2 people got murdered for his
He
efforts. He was selling information to the USSR, and then
yeah, to the
continued.
Soviet
Yeah,
Union.
and
Yeah,
then remained in
nuclear
contact.
secrets.
Yeah, and then remained in contact. So they knew for like 20 years that they possibly had a spy, and they finally caught this douche. Um,
Yeah, he actually stopped spying because his wife called him out about it, and then so he stopped for a little bit, and then he couldn't help like with his criming, so he continued to crime.
He was doing dead drops, which is where you like go drop off a suitcase or a backpack in like weird spots. And they caught him because at first they found his fingerprints on like a trash can, and they found that was used for dead drops, and they found something else of his that was like remotely close to that.
Yeah, they
Um,
have a video of them rolling up on him when they arrested him back
yeah,
in was like in 1990 or something,
like
like
2000.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so then whenever they
Because
cut,
he'd been in there for like 20 years in
yeah,
prison.
yeah. So he'd been in prison for quite a bit, but he started working for him in '76, and by within 10 years, he was selling secrets. Um,
He was working for the Russians for 23 years, and then he was in prison for 23
yeah,
years,
no,
and
they
then he
had
died.
inside in U.S. intelligence, they discovered a recording of a phone call he had with his handlers. So like maybe they caught somebody else, or they found a recording of him talking to Russian handlers, and they found his fingerprints left on trash bags used for dead drops.
And he was serving like I think like 15 consecutive life sentences,
Yeah,
and he like had pled guilty to all of them, and that was a way for him because he was looking at the death penalty.
yeah, and so he's been in prison ever since. But he died recently, and they caught him red-handed. Whenever they did it, they waited, stalked him for a bit. They caught him doing a dead drop like
Yeah,
in real time. And they said he lasted so long because he was old school. He would he would drop physical copies to people at like random low traffic spots that were just like whatever, blah, like a Bucky's bathroom and shit like that. It was just like dropping it in obscure spots, but doing it super old school. Like he started doing it in like the 70s or 80s.
yeah,
And he was doing it up until he got caught. That's how they caught him. They waited because they wanted to catch him red-handed.
yeah. It's wild. Like
Or
the Russians were
2001,
like
yeah,
paying him in diamonds and shit.
yeah.
Like
But he didn't even make that much, dude. He made
I know
1.4 million dollars, 600 in cash and diamonds, and the other 800 placed into a bank account. That's all you got, man.
for selling your fucking soul to the Russians. Like that's
Being like
insane.
the ultimate Benedict Arnold. I mean,
Yeah,
He's like the OG for fucking over this country, but he's considered the biggest spy in history, and he partially got caught because of that. So they put a personal assistant with him, some like 22-year-old kid, and he was like his personal assistant and his like data guy, and that guy was like hacking him and spying on him while he was doing it and siphoning off information from him. And they moved him from his office to like the FB to the bureau office and some like bullshit made up job. So they gave him a made up fake job, put him in the bureau so other people could watch him. There was only like 3 or 4 agents in the whole building that knew he was even a spy, and they watched him for forever and then caught this fucker red-handed. And then the article by BBC, the kid talks about just like it was the craziest job ever. I was like super young. It was so stressful because I knew that I was like working for the biggest spy in the history of the country.
see, like I listen to this podcast called Gaslit Nation, and it's like these two girls are the hosts, and they were saying that they're like they swear like that the FBI has like a huge problem, a Russia problem. Like there's a bunch of Russian like assets like in the FBI, like, and they were saying like fucking Robert Mueller and Christopher Wray, the current FBI director, have problems. I don't know.
Like their Russian assets.
Yeah, like they have like Russian ties.
I think anybody in government at this point has Russian ties.
I don't know. We're giving the Russians too much credit. It feels like
No, I mean
like
you might have
oh
Russian
you
ties
know
doesn't mean obviously they're not going to do shit about it. Bunch of
yeah.
bunch of
Well,
bitches.
the one thing that also this spy did was we dug a tunnel. We dug a tunnel under the Russian embassy in the United States to spy on them, like so that we could listen in to the embassy. And he told the Russians the tunnel was there. Fucking bastard, dude.
So, well, this fucking traitor died.
Yeah. When I first saw that he died, I was like, oh, what the fuck happened? But it was like, nah, he's just old.
Yeah, he fucking died being a little piece of shit. His Mr. Garcia, that was his fake name. Ramon Garcia. And it's his boss said that his boss's name was like Robert Garcia or something, and he hated his boss, so that's why he made his name Ramon Garcia to like fuck with his boss or something stupid. Like this guy was a complete and total douchebag, and got caught red-handed giving more secrets to the Russians like over 20 years, just like passing shit out, passing it. Finally got arrested in 2001. It took 300 special agents to catch him doing it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's but like he was doing it old school, so he had to like they're like we got to catch him red-handed. We have his fingerprints and shit, but he could deny it and retire. And what are we gonna do if he stops? So they had to like not let him know that they were onto him, because if they caught him, then they could prove the rest. Otherwise, it was almost like hearsay. It was like they had a suspicion,
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
And they're white shoe FBI lawyers, so they got to make sure that it's all clean.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just telling you, man, this Russia blowing up this dam in Ukraine, that's a straight up war crime. Not that they haven't been committing war crimes, but like you're gonna see the International Criminal Court charge Putin with another war crime, like officially for this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. Putin can die for all I care.
So I had a dream last night that I was going to a Russian prison for killing a bunch of Russians, and then like I was going that night, and then I like pulled a gun on Putin and shot him in the face, and then I woke up. And
Interesting.
my sister had a dream last night that you and I were at the Texas house making music.
Get lit. Like Daft Punk or something like that.
I don't know.
One more time. Hell yeah. Nah, man. Episode 90. Assemble the clown car. Pay attention, you guys. Watch the fucking news. Shit's about to get wild in the next like week or two. If it doesn't happen by the end of the week, sometime next week. I mean, we've been saying this for a while, but it's really ramping up. It's getting wild.
No, I mean we were on it like with the New York indictments, like with that one though, it was Trump saying he was going to get indicted that week, and that's when I was like, no, it's just Trump's the only one saying it. So when they put up like all the barricades and shit, like, and it didn't happen. Well, no, like the reason why we think it's going to happen this week is because of everything that's happening with the special counsel.
Yeah. So all this stuff is stuff that the grand jury is already aware of.
Yeah.
So they're already aware of like the audio recordings. They listened to it, so they've heard the audio recordings. They've interviewed and Mark Meadows has testified and answered questions before the grand jury. Like shit's going down, man. Like they've done their due diligence. They've been super cryptic about it, super quiet about it. There's a video of Jack Smith, and they're asking him questions because this is the first video we've actually seen of this guy like actually walking. It's always just a picture of him. They saw a video and he didn't even say anything. They're like, "Hey, what's going on, Nate?" And he's just like staring dead straight ahead. He's so quiet, and he's already convicted people of similar crimes. So like this is his like specialty. So people forget he's like the chef. He's Chef Curry with this espionage, mishandling of top secret shit. That's like his bread and fucking butter.
Just like the DA out of Georgia, her bread and butter is RICO cases, and so that's why she's like perfect for what's going on there.
Yeah.
Also, the reason why that this is ramping up and expect things to happen really fucking soon is because it might be a year until the trial, and so they want to get this shit over with before, so there's no like it's not happening like during the actual election. Yeah, like so they're really like cognizant of how that looks, so the quicker they can get this like done with,
the better.
And then show the American people what the fuck happened, and then so that way they're not interfering.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, you got anything else, man? You got any words of wisdom for us today?
Just meditate, bitches.
Well, episode 90 in the bag. We appreciate y'all. This is an hour 40. This is a good one. We haven't had a long one like this in a while, but glad you're doing good, and just you guys be safe. Watch the news. Be safe. Shit might get weird if he does actually.
Or don't watch the news. We'll just tell you about it.
Yeah, we'll just tell you about it. We'll just tell you about it next week. Either way, stay good, stay safe, and as always, go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stopped.
Later.